So the reason why it seems now in society, politically, why civilians, both left-wing civilians and right-wing civilians, are having more arguments, and also why people are beginning to like unfriend or not being friends with each other because of political views. The reason why this happens is because of this current age of misinformation. And if you're having political argument with people these days, it's because one person has fallen for some sort of propaganda or disinformation online. Um, and so because one person is more informed than the other, what happens is when one person, the person that's more informed, hears someone say some piece of like misinformation online, um, the person that's more informed is going to get pissed off at the person uninformed. So the reason why someone would unfriend someone is because, their friends would have been propagandized by some sort of misinformation and disinformation or propaganda online. And, like there's a big movement of teaching like anti-facts, like denying psychology and saying like certain mental health conditions like don't exist. Um, so, that's the reason why people more than ever having political debates. Sorry, not political debates. Political like arguments and fighting, and why people are unfriending each other is because one person's fallen for misinformation and the other person hasn't. Because when you hear people spreading misinformation online, when you are more informed, you just naturally get like pissed off and angry at people spreading, toxic misinformation that they've heard online. So this is the reason why, people now more than ever are having political arguments and fights and why people are unfriending people. Um, So it's because of like the modern day in the last like 25 years of like social media and the misinformation that's online. It's this divisive type misinformation online that's actually causing people to have disagreements and arguing and having their friendships and families destroyed because of there's a lot of propaganda and disinformation online, and it's destroying families, and it's getting in the way of people's um relationships. And there was one of these bad faith actors online, and they were saying how uh the modern day trend of people not being friends with people because of different values is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. When that person was a propagandist, um, that person is responsible. Why we're having these types of divisions in society? Why people are unfriending people because of political opinions? It's because of this modern wave of misinformation, disinformation, and propaganda that is basically rampant online. And the reason why so many people are affected by it is because um, propaganda that is more divisive and preys on people's emotions. It's much it's more likely to drive engagement, and that's why I call it the cult of the algorithm, where you've got all these bad faith actors. They're perpetuating this divisive propaganda, and then this is what's causing people to have arguments, and it's causing people not to want to be friends anymore. So it's these propagandists that are to blame as to why people are having disagreements. Um, and when it comes to this type of thing, it's where like media literacy is needed, critical thinking skills are needed, and also improving people's mental health And a big part of improving people's mental health and giving people a greater ability to have discussions is a lot of people have communication skill, conversation problems and social problems as a result of different mental health conditions like OCPD. So the more we combat these problems, the more we improve mental health, improve critical thinking, improve media literacy, the more we can actually, um, you know, be able to have like conversations again in society. Not that we've ever actually been able to have much of these critical conversations in society because a lot of people just don't know what to talk about politics. Um, but yeah, so if we combat those three problems and do those three things, this is how we can get society having conversations and being able to have debates again. So yeah.